Hello, everyone, and welcome back to episode 108. I hope that you are all well. I am very well indeed. I have recently had a lovely week away in Bath with my family, and the sun shone every single day. It was absolutely beautiful, and I have been happy to be home though because I am tied on a bungee cord to Horwich, and I did miss my Queen Gloria, who is currently causing havoc at the side of me. If you can hear her, she's currently rubbing her chops on the corner of the laptop, so apologies if you can hear that. And I also have some very exciting news for you because last week I launched the membership, which has been in over 6 months in the making. I'm not joking you. It's nearly killed me off on several occasions, but I am thrilled to say that I have officially opened the doors and we've already welcomed several of you in, which is just amazing in the first week. So I'm going to start off today's episode by telling you a little bit about it. So the membership is made up of 4 different modules where there are 37 video lessons altogether, and each of those lessons has a little task to go with it so that you can embody what I've shared with you in that lesson and go and apply it to your life. There's also a live monthly masterclass where I'll be teaching you something new, a new concept, or we might be doing like a challenge or something like that. And then there'll also be a monthly live Q&A where I'll answer all the questions from the Q&A thread that's in there, as well as on-the-spot coaching on the call to help you move through any blocks that you might come up against. There'll be a new subliminal each month, a new guided meditation, and lots of other bonus content that I'm going to be adding along the way. So there's a community area where you can meet up with friends and support each other on your journey. We've got a live group chat that acts like almost like a WhatsApp group, and it's hosted on Only the Finest membership portal, which has also got a free app that you can access it through, and that's called Circle. So there are 2 options to join us. There's an option to pay monthly, which has got no contract, so you can join us for a month and see what it's all about. And for those of you who are ready to make some massive changes, there's also an annual option, which includes monthly one-to-one sessions with me for the full year. So the spaces for that one will be limited. I think 4 of those have already gone. Because I can only do so many alongside my other coaching clients. So if that's the part for you, then go and check it out because there is a limited space for that one. So let me tell you, in October last year, I decided to invest in myself and my own development. And that has been, without doubt, the single biggest factor in transforming my whole life. I still can't quite believe just how much my life has changed since being a part of something that expands your consciousness at a positively alarming rate. In October, I had no idea how much my life was about to change just from the act of putting myself first before all of my circumstances and deciding that 2024 was going to be the year that transformed my life. And fuck me, it certainly has. So in a very short amount of time, I have gone from being like on my arse skint, stuck in circumstances that were absolutely draining me, waking up every day and having to go to a job that I didn't want to be in, to now being in a very different position financially, waking up every single day with complete freedom to live my life exactly how I want to and to do what I absolutely love doing. So my dreams have literally become my reality in a really short space of time, and it's only just getting started. You can apply everything that I teach to any area of your life. It doesn't matter what the vision is. I am telling you, you can change your life completely, and it does not have to take you a super long time, because when you start creating in the 5D instead of in the 3D, shit changes up real fast, and before you know it, your life will be unrecognisable in whatever it is that you choose. So whether that's money, health, relationships, family, your home, your career, anything you can think of. When you will learn to apply these laws inside out, there is no fucking stopping you. I am not special. I don't have a special manifesting gift that you don't have access to. I just learned inside out how to do it exactly, and you can do that too. So yeah, come and join us in the membership to work through those 4 modules with the 37 lessons, where I'll take you through the 4 steps of the law of assumption with my own spin on it and exactly how I've used it. And I'm not going to lie, guys, I'm really, really proud of it. I'm really proud of what I've created because I know already the impact that it's going to have on people's lives. So this week, I just wanted to give you a little pep talk because on Saturday night last week, I sobbed with gratitude for my life. Not only for my life, but gratitude for a past version of me. And I know that there'll be lots of you listening now who are in that past version of me right now. And I just cried in absolute amazement at how far I have come. On the 31st of July, it will be 3 years since my complete life just fell apart in an instant. I lost my relationship, my house, my future that I had planned, my best friend, my stability from my job, my fucking marbles, all gone in the blink of an eye. And today, I am just sat here on a Monday morning with a cup of coffee and I'm just at peace. I've got my own beautiful home. I live in gratitude. I go on loads of holidays. My health, both physically and mentally, continues to get better and better. I've got amazing close friendships. I have an incredible relationship with my family. I love myself deeply. I have a significant overflow of money in my bank account that I've never experienced before. I've got the most gorgeous clients who have become friends. I've got a job that I love and I'm excited to do. Even on days where I feel overwhelmed or busy, I still love it every single fucking day because it's my purpose. And as a result of that job, I also now have a level of freedom that I could have only dreamt of once, which I value very, very highly indeed. And I did all of that with my thoughts. Nothing in there was forced and manipulated. I manifested every single part of this new reality that I'm experiencing right now by changing my subconscious beliefs, investing in my own growth and expanding my consciousness to see what was possible for me. And I had lots of people supporting me that I couldn't have done it without, not least of all every single person who is listening right now and those of you who have listened all the way through this journey. But it came from me, because that's the only place that it can come from. You don't need to force or manipulate anything in your outside world. It comes from consciousness. And I am telling you this because I want to shout from the rooftops for the rest of my life about this material, because I care about every single listener of this podcast, every single one of you. And I need you to understand that you do not need to stay stuck where you are in a miserable loop of watching others have a life that you desire. You can have it yourself, I promise you. You are not a victim of your circumstances. You are the creator of them. And the power is all within you. And it is my soul's purpose in life to help you and lots of other people unlock it. And that is what I will continue to do without a single doubt until my very last days on earth. You are an absolutely limitless being. You can do, you can be, you can have anything at all that you desire. And I might sound like I'm just sort of rhyming off what I have created before, but it's purely because I want to see you do that for yourself too. I want you to know that there is such enormous potential within every single one of you. And I want you to tap into that and experience from right now going forward the feelings of deep gratitude for the life that you've created that I'm having right now. So there are 4 steps to this, which I can't possibly get into in enough depth in a podcast or even in lots of podcasts. But I am going to share with you the basics of the 4 steps that I teach. So I talk about these constantly, but today I really just want to bring the whole process back together so that you leave this podcast episode understanding that manifestation is not that hard. It's not as hard as it's portrayed to be. It's not as mystical, and you don't have to stay in this high vibe state all the time. I want to share with you the 4 main steps. So the first step is to create your vision. If you wanted to go on a new location like if you were going on holiday, for example, that you've never been to before, you would need to know specifically where it is that you were going. You wouldn't just drive around in a vague direction and hope for the best, would you? You'd put your postcode in the sat nav. You'd release the need to know the details of every single road turn, every single roundabout that you'd be on. You would trust that you were being guided, wouldn't you? The problem that a lot of people have is that they simply do not know where the fuck it is that they are going. They don't know what it is that they desire because they've never taken the time to sit down and actually consciously decide what it is that they want. And those that have, in the most part, are not really going for what they would love. They're going for what they think they could do or what they think might be possible for them, so that they're not disappointed when they assume that it's not going to work out. So let me tell you the issue with that. When you decide that you're going to go somewhere that's not really that exciting, that you feel like it might be in reach, you naturally as a human will start trying to work out how you're going to get there. You'll start trying to force it, manipulate it, plan it, and that is going to serve as a block. It's not going to get you there quicker. It's going to slow you down because you're interfering. So there's this massive misconception that it's important that you set small, achievable goals. Fuck that. You need to set a goal that you have no idea how you are going to achieve it, because that is what will allow you to release it and be shown the way to it. If it lights you up on the inside, then you're not going to be focused on the how because it's too big for you. It'll stop you from trying to meddle with the 3D. We don't create in the 3D, babe. That's what we've been taught to do. It's hard, it's long, it's a struggle. We have to sacrifice. We're not doing that. We are not doing that anymore. We are creating in the 5D. We're doing it with faith. We're doing it with ease. We're doing it with flow, where there is no such thing as space and time. So take some time to create your vision and ask yourself this very important question. What would you love? So the second step is finding out the identity of the vision version. And by the vision version, I mean the identity of the version of you who's already experiencing your vision, because that version of you does already exist. All possibilities exist all at once. If you didn't exist, you wouldn't be able to see that vision in the first place. You're just operating at a different frequency right now, which is why you don't see it in your 3D reality. The same way that there are multiple radio stations playing music simultaneously, but you only hear the music that you are tuned into. So it's about noticing the difference between how this current version of you, this identity that you're currently holding that's having this specific reality in the 3D, and the version of you in your vision is showing up. Where are the gaps? What's the difference between the two versions of you? So that step, the second step on the identity, is where you find the gaps between the two versions of yourself. And then you go on to the next step, which is the third step, and that's embodiment. So embodiment is where you actually then start to step into that identity of the vision version that you've just found, and you live as that version right now. Right now. I sounded like that. Has anybody seen that TikTok video of if you don't watch TikTok, you won't know what I'm talking about, but there's a TikTok video that is playing rent-free in my head, and it's like, raise your hand if you want garlic breadsticks right now. Anyway, moving on. So you start living as that version of you right now. So you do everything that she does, or he, or whoever. You speak like that person, you dress like that person, you wake up like that person, you live in an environment as close as possible to the one that they live in, you show up in the way that you work, the way that you have hobbies, the way that you have fun, all of your recreation, whatever it is that you do in your spare time. Everything that she does, or he, I'm just using she because I'm thinking of myself. So everything that she does, you do it now. Exactly like when an actor steps into the role of a character completely. The only difference is that you're not actually acting, you are becoming that alternate version of yourself by stepping into all of the things that they do right now. But if you need to, it can be useful to treat it as if you are acting, in my personal experience, at first at least. One of the most important parts of embodiment, though, is making decisions from the end vision. And that's because a lot of the choices that we make are based on circumstances in the 3D, and circumstances are not real. They're a shadow of past thinking. So in order to create a new reality, we have to step away from doing that. We've got to really focus on what would that version of me do. And if the answer is yes, you do it. If the answer is no, you don't do it. That's embodiment. It's not waiting for evidence before you live as that version right now, which brings me on to our fourth and final step of the process, which is to remain faithful to the vision, because circumstances don't matter. So the reason that they don't matter is because they are nothing but a reflection of your old thinking. You need to start viewing your 3D circumstances as past tense. They have absolutely no power. Your power is always and only in the present moment. So if you use that present moment to place your attention on something that you don't like, it will absolutely grow. You will experience more than that. So take your attention off that which you don't desire and place it instead on what you do desire, so that you can allow the vision to grow. A way that I sometimes like to think about this, like to give you a bit of a visual analogy, is, let's say, for example, you had a glass of pure Vimto, like, full-blown glass of Vimto or cordial, like not watered down. So that represents your current 3D reality. So it's fully purple. And then let's say that you decided you wanted a glass of water instead. You've gone off Vimto, you want to create a glass of water, but you only have that one glass. That's you, that's your life. So what you'll do is you'll start acting from the end, embodying the vision version, which is the water, and you'll start pouring water in. That doesn't mean that you're just going to instantly see water. You are still going to see purple coloured Vimto, but the more you put water into the glass, the more it pushes the Vimto out. So think of every time you react to the 3D circumstances, you're pouring more Vimto in. So you're making the Vimto stronger. Every time you act from the vision and you live there and you make decisions from there and you act like that version now, you're adding more water, and soon you'll have a glass of water. There'll be no evidence left of the Vimto, but it's a process. So from now on, think of it like that. Think of it like a glass of Vimto turning into a glass of water. Every single time that you react to something that you don't like in the 3D and you give it a negative meaning and you have an emotional reaction to it and you say, oh, this is shit, I don't like this, you're adding more Vimto. So you are creating a space between you and receiving that glass of water. Does that make sense? So that was just a little recap for you of the basic principles of law of assumption that I teach in the membership. There is so much more to learn about it, and that is exactly why I've created this membership, because I want you to understand it on a really deep level and know exactly how to apply it to create your vision. So if you haven't already, come and join us in there. The details of how to join are on my Instagram. There's a post all about it. I've saved the links in a story highlight on there called the membership. On Instagram, it's at Empower State, and you can also find the details in the private Facebook group called Empower State Community. So you just send me a request and I'll let you into that. But the reason that it's important that you know this stuff inside out is it will allow you to take what you might consider to be bigger risks in the long run, because they won't feel like risks anymore. Because once you understand it so deeply, it becomes a knowing. It's not a believing anymore, it's a knowing. So what you might have thought of as a risk before isn't a risk, because it's just a decision that you're making. It's not a risk. So that's why a lot of people will say, oh, like, you're brave doing that. I'm not brave, I just understand it. I'll make, and lots of other people who also understand law of assumption inside out will make ballsier decisions than you might be making right now, it's not because they've just got this like complete lack of fear. It's because they've got a deep, deep understanding that it's not a risk, because they know that they are the only creator. It's not in somebody else's hands. It's not down to fate or luck or anything like that. It's down to them. And once they understand it, they can persist in that vision without getting panicked by what they see in the 3D circumstances, and it becomes very, very easy. So I hope that you've enjoyed this week's episode. It was just kind of a bit back to basics of manifestation and an introduction to the membership. So I hope to see you in there. Have a lovely week, and I will speak to you soon. See you later.